Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and first of all, I will get it out of the way right now. If you're wondering, girl, did you do that look on here? Yes, I did. I will link it right up here. I did a full face of new makeup that has come to Ulta, that has come to random websites. We have the setting powder from Nakia Joy, we have the new one from Jouer, we have new stuff from Becca, and we just have new stuff from all over the place. So go ahead, check that video out if you are curious what is happening here. But for today, I actually have a fun story for you. So I went over to the other side of my room to start putting products away because, as y'all know, I upload 5 videos a week, and this vanity gets very overcrowded very quickly. Like, the mountain forms, and once it does, there's just nothing I can do about it. So I like to try and stay on top of it and put stuff away as often as I can. I have different places things go, and for the most part, it's a complete chaotic mess. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's why you guys will not be seeing the makeup collection. I hear you, I know you want to see it, but you won't be able to see it until I get this entire room finished because, again, I just moved in here a couple months ago, and with how much I film and then my real life, because I do own 2 businesses outside of YouTube, so I'm super busy. Not that that's an excuse, but I don't have this room anywhere near how good I want it to look before I show it to you guys. So once that is all done, you will get to see the entire thing behind the camera. Well, for today's video, it actually stemmed from while I was putting my stuff away from 2 videos ago. I looked in my drawers and I was like, man, this was such a bummer, and I picked up this product and I was like, man, this one was a bummer too. Everybody thought this was going to be so good, and it wasn't. And then before I knew it, I was like, Paige, you need to do a video on first things that came to my mind that I was like, wow, this was super hyped and I didn't like it. And this could be from the last 6 months, it could be from the last 2 years. Anything that I pulled that I looked at it and I was like, whoa, that one. Those are the items I pulled, and it's just gonna be like a little fun trip down memory lane because, again, I have everything from new to old, and you know, we're just gonna dive into it. But anyways, that is what today's video is. It's just gonna be a super fun hangout kind of video. I love doing these, and I just wanted to do something fun, something a little different. So let's go ahead and dive in. Oh, do I have a palette? Oh, that makes me think very violent thoughts. The Wet Set by Kylie Cosmetics. This palette was so hyped and so difficult to get your hands on, and of course I ended up with it. When you look at this, you're like, ooh, not bad. This could work on lighter skin tones. This is the first one, of course, that had like that putty feel to it, but you see these swatches on my hands right here? Barely. You see these swatches? Barely. Guys, I could not get this to show up on my skin to save my life. When I did, it looked so thick and chunky and just like who did that to you, Paige? I don't know. It looked like if you were to take like cotton balls and like glue them to your face and like mash them down, that's how thick and chunky this looked. It looked so fibrous on my face. Like, I cannot express to you how many times I tried to make this work. Like, you can see, I dug into these top 2 light pans up here. I dug and dug and dug, and I was trying, and I tried to make it work so hard because I wanted to love this. I wanted to go with the hype and just be like in it to win it. And these have zero, to me, pigmentation. Like, it's not there. Like, for the hype, I'm just like, I want a little bit more. Why? I don't know. I know that oftentimes I speak very highly of Kylie Cosmetics because I don't have an issue with too much of it, like the shadows and so on and so forth. I've had really good luck with those. But like this, for some reason, guys, oh my, and especially when I'm sitting here, let me just like tell you, okay? I'll be sitting here, this is such a story video, okay? Buckle up, buttercup. So I'm sitting here, I'm a good little doodle like a year and a half or so ago, and I'm sitting here watching YouTube, and I'm into it, man. I'm watching like my favorite top influencers, and I'm just like, oh my god, like everybody's loving this palette. I clearly am going to need this palette. Like, it's so fun. It has this different texture to it. It's going to be something different. I am in it. And then it gets here, and I'm like, ah, and I fall in love, right? Oh, but I fell in love too quickly. Typical me. Fell too hard, too fast. Girl, I fell right on my face. Let me tell you how much I did not like this. Again, texture, consistency, pigmentation, no thank you. And then not only that, but I don't remember back when this one was launched if it came in more than one like set of colors, but is this like the only set that was released? Because again, I don't remember if the original was released in 2 skin tone versions, but hello, like how is this going to work for medium to deep skin tones? This is going to be like almost all pasty people right here, and then like a splash of like depth. I don't know. For me, everything about this was just such a huge miss, and I just like, you know what I mean? Just like, ooh, it leaves a sore taste in my mouth still to this day because I felt so betrayed by the internet at large, and I just didn't like it. Also, real quick, I thought I should put a little disclaimer in here. This isn't like I'm going to get rid of these products. Oh no, I'm going to keep them. They're going to go back in my drawer. Why? Because I paid for them and I have like some obnoxious emotional attachment to these. So don't judge me when they end up right back in my drawer. And who knows, you guys can let me know down below. Do you want me to do a full face of these products that were so hyped and also so disappointing? Because I will do that video. But just so you guys know, I'm not getting rid of these. This isn't like a declutter. This isn't a, oh, I'm going to throw them away. Even though common sense says I should throw them away. I'm not going to, because I spent money on them, and so somehow I feel obligated to keep them around until they grow old and mold and nasty. So just to clarify, let's move on. Okay, so the next one might piss off some people. I'm not going to lie about it, but I've tried this multiple times. I do get use out of it here and there, but for me, not a huge fan. This is the Beauty Bakerie setting flour, or flour setting powder. This for me, didn't do anything special. I wanted this to be like the most smoothing, amazing powder of my dreams. And for me, with Beauty Bakerie, I find that more often than not, I'm not that big of a fan. I know, don't come for me, but I honestly, like, honest to God, I've tried so many of their products at this point, and this is the one that I chose to put in this video because I feel like it became a huge deal like roughly a year ago or so, and I just... oh, like I've tried it, and guys, like look, it's like well over half gone. I've used it. I've gotten so much use out of it. But every time I play with it and I put it up against my Maybelline or I put it up against my Laura Mercier, whether it's a higher price point, a lower price point, it doesn't matter. This never comes out on top for me. And I'm convinced that one day I will get use out of it. Like maybe it's just I don't have the skin type for it. Maybe you have to have like naturally perfect skin. I don't know. I do not know. If you guys have a trick or a thought or something on this powder, out of everything in this bin, this is probably the one thing that I'm so sad that's in here, because I genuinely wanted to love this powder and have like that smoothing obsessive feel that everybody else seems to get from it, and I just don't get that. And I don't know again if it's like the application or if it's just my skin type. I tried it when I was super oily. I've tried it recently when I was more like normal to oily. I don't know, but for me this just never does it. It's not that it goes on and looks super thick or super cakey or super, you know, overdone on the skin, because it doesn't. It just doesn't do anything special. Whereas like my Maybelline Fit Me, I put that on and I can tell I put it on because it makes me so nice and smooth, and it sticks to the skin in such a way that it just like, it makes me feel a good situation is about to happen. And this one doesn't do that. It just doesn't make me feel any sort of way. Like the Maybelline Fit Me, girl, we like cozy up on a couch, like we get together, we having some Doritos, some Cheetos, some cupcakes, we're getting in on that thing, you know? But this one is just like, it's just like that stranger, that person, like that acquaintance that you walk by in the supermarket and you're like, oh hey, what's up? Like, it's not that you don't like them, it's not that you love them, like you had like a slight like encounter, you know what I mean? But like you don't hate them, but like you just, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. I don't know if that made any sense, but I'm hoping some of you can relate. This might be the weirdest video I've ever filmed in my life. Hope you guys are liking it so far. Okay guys, so this one I'm a little bit worried about. So these, whew, okay. Don't hate me. Hear me all the way out on this one. I know you guys will anyways, but I'm almost like, I'm actually sweating a little bit more just anticipating talking about this one. These are the Smashbox Mini Edit Palettes. Oh, guys, I wanted to love these so bad. Let me just please break down the several issues I have with these. So the first thing is that they are $22. $22. You get 3 eyeshadows, and this one, I'm not even like, I shouldn't have to speak as to why this is an issue with me. $22. Okay, whatever, it's your choice. Spend your money on what you want. Oh, did you guys just see it fall out the pan? Okay, add that to my list. That wasn't even on there, but it fell out, so that's cool. Let me just pick my you know, $12 shadow back up and put it in the pan here real quick. Hold on one second. Oh, there's more, and it's all over my shirt, so that's cool. Good thing it's brown. It blends right in. Oh, girl, you are not about ready to grind yourself into my chesticle like that. I do not think so. Okay, so now it's really broken and messed up, but here's my issue. Okay, in all seriousness, the price, first of all, I think is very expensive, but that's whatever it is. These blend very nicely. I think a couple of them, these are not the only 2 I had. I must have returned the other ones. I think I bought 4 or 5 of them just to test them out, and overall, I thought that the consistency was a little bit off. So some of them were really nice. They blended out. They were super buttery, very soft. This shade, for example, ironically enough, the one that just broke, is probably one of the best shades out of all the ones that I had. This is the shade Sable, I think. I want to say, yeah, that's what it looks like. And it is so beautiful and even in pigmentation. Beautiful. Again, I find it ironic that that's the one that just broke, because they do have a nice soft quality to them, the way that they just sit on the lids and the way they blend out. But that's not my issue. My issue was with that consistency. First of all, I didn't see that across all of the little edits that I tried. That's number one. Now, guys, I want to break down to you why I think that this $22 price point is so insane. And I'm going to try not to lose anybody and like get all like whatever about it, because you guys know when it comes to price and amount of product, I am like very stern. There are certain things that like, okay, consistency or chunkability, not a word, but like fallout and stuff like that. Certain things I'm willing to like move a little on based on how the product manipulates. If these were 3 shades that were just like really good quality, they were super blendable, all of them on every single edit I had tried were really, really good, and you know, the amount of product was there, I would be fine. Like, I wouldn't be fine, but I would be less upset about it. But given the consistency and the chalkiness and like all of that as an issue, and then also considering the amount of product you get in each one of these little trios, you only get 0.11 ounces of product. Now, if you take that and divide it evenly over the 3 right here, that would be 0.036 ounces per pan. Now, obviously that's not the case, because one side is very large and then the other 2 shadows split the other side. So really what you have is 0.055 and then 0.0275 over here. But again, on average, 0.036 a piece. And if you were to just make them all the same size. And for me, I cannot condone that. It's just like when I reviewed the Estee Lauder video. I will link that up here with their new Desert Sun or whatever it was palette, the round one. For the amount of product you got, I'm like, guys, this is insanely expensive. What you are paying for what you are getting. And they're from Smashbox, so I didn't expect them to be affordable per se. But once I got them into my possession and I started breaking them down and what you get for the value and the consistency and all of these other things, I was just so disappointed at, I don't know what it was about these, just everything. Like, I was disappointed. You know what I mean? You know how you just get that overwhelming, just like, ugh, like, I'm so bummed. And it was just like, I almost felt like it was like a way to take advantage of like a trendy situation. You know what I mean? I don't know. For me, again, that was like a huge diatribe, but these were just such a miss for me. And you know, I would love to hear from you guys down below if anybody else had that same experience. Okay guys, so this next product, we're gonna have to travel back just a second into the Kylie Cosmetics wet set. I loved the consistency of those, the way they feel, that little squish you get, like that little, it's kind of nice, right? Like, it has a really interesting vibe, texture, feel going on, and very similar, if not the almost exact same, to the Stila Heaven's Hue highlights. Now this is in the shade Kitten. I went ahead and swatched it right here. These did the pigmentation right, in my opinion. Like, look at that. This is one swipe. Those other ones that you saw from the wet set, girl, I built those up 3 times to try to get any sort of a pigmentation payoff, and I could not. This is just one swipe, so beautiful and blinding, and again, that texture, it feels velvety smooth, and you're asking yourself, Paige, why is it in this video then? Let me just tell you, I have tried to apply this to my cheeks so many times, and the amount of work I have to put in to make this work on my texture, it is a violent situation. Don't get me wrong. Do I try to make it work? Yes. Have I made it work pretty well? Sure. But for the most part, and this could just be a me thing, I feel like most people give this a rave review because, again, it is beautiful. It's blinding. It has a great texture. It has all of the good key components. But for me, oh my god, it is so annoying to try and make something work on my texture that is so velvety smooth. It's almost like it's so smooth. How is it not smooth on my face? Everything about this says I am smooth as butter, and then all of a sudden my butter ends up having chunks in it. Like, why? What happened here? Like, that for me is this highlight. Every single time I try to make it work, I get so annoyed. And don't get me wrong, I haven't tried to use this now in probably 6 months because I kept getting so frustrated. And for me, just if you're like me and you have the same issue and you don't want to let go of the highlight because it is beautiful, the best way to apply this if you have texture is going in and either placing it with your finger and like tapping it down, or going in with a beauty sponge and taking a little bit off and pressing it in with a beauty sponge. Going in with a brush is a horrible decision with this if you have texture. And for me, that was the biggest downside because I felt like this was so hyped and so great and everybody used it with a brush and everybody had no issue and it was so great. And then I went in and I was so hyped and ready to use and love and just dine on this product, and it just didn't work. Like, it was, I mean, it worked and it was highlighty and everything, but it didn't give me the essence and the ease that everybody else had with it, and it made me so frustrated. And then the shade is like so beautiful, but on my skin tone, just as if all of the texture stuff I just said wasn't enough, the shade of this, when I turn my head and I'm wearing it, casts total totally gray right here, so I can't even wear it alone. It's just like one of those things where I keep it because I love it, and like I secretly hope one day I will get to wear it and have it not be so annoying to work with, because I do think it's great, and if it works on your skin tone and texture, it's beautiful, like hello, hi. But the fact that it just wouldn't work for me and my texture, and it was so bad on my texture, made me so frustrated. And don't get me wrong, my texture has gotten a lot better, so maybe I'll try it again. We'll see how it works. But for me, this was just, oh my god, it was such a bummer. I don't know, you guys can let me know down below if anybody else had the same experience, but guys, oh my, it made me so annoyed. It made me so annoyed. So I want to hear from you guys. Did anybody else have that with this? Because I have spent the last, what, year and a half, 2 years that this was released feeling crazy because it's beautiful. And I'm just, oh, Paige, it's so great. And I'm over here like, my friggin' face looks like a dirt road that you drive down in a pickup truck, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Ugh. All right, so now we are on to the last product. You guys are probably like, thank you, Jesus. But let me just talk to you about one of the most disappointing. This is like right up there, almost like Grand Poobah of disappointments for me. The Too Faced Then and Now palette. Oh my, it like hurts me just to say it. I wanted to love this so friggin' much, you guys. You don't even understand everything about it. The minute I saw it teased on Trend Mood, I was like, oh, I am in it. It is mine. I'm gonna fight to the death. I'm gonna have to go into my under eye bags, find the little man with the sword, borrow his sword, and I'm gonna be fighting people off because I have to have this palette. It is gonna be so, so good. Because the entire point of this palette was to show the amount of time and over 20 years showcase who Too Faced was then, who they are now, and just show like what they would have done versus how they would do it. You know what I mean? And like it was just such an amazing idea, celebrating a brand and the length they've been in business and like all of these things. And then and then I used it. And let me tell you, first of all, as a palette, because yes, as a concept, we'll get into that in a second. Great. But as a palette, which you know people are going to be buying this the way it is right here, this makes -7% sense to me. They have literally almost the exact same shade, top and bottom. So it's not even like something you can get a ton of use out of. Like, oh, here's a dark blue. Oh, here's a shimmery light blue. Here's a dark shimmery purple. Oh, there's a light shimmery purple and another. And then, oh, there's a pink right there that looks really similar to the purple. Cool. Oh, and then how many browns do you want? Because we have 12. Like, I do not understand, not to mention the top row right here, all the ones that were the original 10 circa 1998, they are all shimmers. And I understand that that is how they did things back then, and I don't take issue to it as far as it being circa 1998. This is how we did it then. What I take an issue with is that they put this palette together and nobody saw any issue with the color choices in here. Like nobody thought out of all 20 of these shades, don't get me wrong, half of them are duplicated and you have very similar shades top and bottom, but there's only 3 mattes. I look at this and I was just so excited. And then as I started to play with it, I was like, boy, I sure would love choices right now. I sure would love any sort of like color arrangement, any sort of anything in here that would remotely intrigue me, right? But I was like, you know what, Paige, it's a then and now palette. You got to get past it. And instead I was like, you know what, Paige, we're going to look at this as 2 separate palettes. We're going to look at it as 1 palette over here, 1 palette over there, just to try and like, I had to physically remove the idea of what it was from my mind because I could not get past it, right? So I keep moving it aside. I'm like, okay, Paige, you can do it. Like, you're just going to have to get over yourself. You know what I mean? So then I start diving into the shades. Painfully disappointed in the quality of these shades. There were some of them that were so, so beautiful and other ones that were so, so not. Let me just show you first of all. So this shade right here, the shade Chill Out, when you swatch it, so beautiful. When you apply it to the eye, if you go in with enough glitter glue, it looks like this. If you don't, chunky hot mess. Let me just first of all tell you, it feels in the pan like an actual rock, and it has felt like that from the day that I purchased this palette. So dense that it's almost difficult to get any color to come out. But then let me just move over here. Oh, Reality Star, this shade right here, I would depot that right now and have it for the rest of my days. 1 swipe, let me just show you. Boom. 1 swipe, it is beautiful. It is rich in opacity. It's more of like a foil shade. So, so stunning. And guys, I hate to say this, but that was the inconsistency that I had with this palette when it comes to the shimmers, which is almost the entire palette, the entire time. It was painfully difficult to find shades that I knew would work and then constantly run into shades that were just so lackluster. Where is that consistency, that quality? Where is it on a palette that's supposed to celebrate 20 years of you being in business? And I feel like you just gave me a hamburger that is overdone, dried out hockey puck, been left in the sun for 3 days. That's the kind of like consistency, quality, it just wasn't there for me, and I was so genuinely disappointed. But that is it, you guys. Those are my products that they were super hyped at the time. I bought them and I didn't love them for whatever reason, and I know this was a super random video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was fun taking a little walk back through memory lane with me. Let me know down below if there's ever any other weird types of videos you want to see, videos that center around a type of product or types of products or releases or whatever. I am always super game to hear your guys' ideas, because I love making videos that are catered to you guys, for you guys, because you're the best audience ever. So let me know down below, what did you guys think? Also, I want to hear, did you have a similar interaction with any of these? Leave that down below as well. And while you're down there, don't forget you can scuttle on up to that description box. Check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. They're both linked down below. And of course, it's a hyperlink, so all you got to do, honey, is click it and then click follow. You don't have to do anything, type anything in, none of that crazy business. Just click and then click follow. And while you're in the business of clicking things all over the place, don't forget you can also subscribe and turn on your post notifications here to my YouTube channel, because y'all, I upload 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time in Northern Michigan, and it is a great time, guys. We talk about everything new, old, things we love, things we hated, things we just have such bad memories with, and everything in between. So thank you all again so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I love that I'm getting a temperature warning from my camera when I need a temperature warning. It's like, girl, my camera's flashing at me. I'm about to flash my camera. It's a whole thing, girl. It is warm in here. So the next one is okay. Are you gonna come in?
Well, not if you're busy.
What you got? Oh my God, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't see. Wow. I'm not busy for that. Thanks, Dad. You're a great guy. Have I told you that lately? Am I too busy for a Diet Coke with light ice from McDonald's? Dad, I thought you knew me.